Hey, what's up? Thank you if you watched the previous video where we talked about Thursday, Perform Better Summer Seminar Series, and that's my time, 2 p.m. But down below, we'll make sure we put the login for the Zoom, and pretty sure this week will be the stacked week, and I don't know if they actually will release what week does the best. But I like our chances. There was some fun. There was some fun action on Twitter today, today is Monday, and Allie and I are always pretty good with finding really cool memes. Some of the stuff was honestly ridiculous to think that certain weeks would do better than this week, but let's. I'd like to see the chips fall as they may. Also, hey, we talked about on Thursday the next Train Equals Rehab video product is going to come out on the streaming platform Train Equals Rehab Plus, which you can find at my website. ACL in Action has actually been probably something in my to-do list for many years. I want to take you back several years where my good friend Vince Gabriel Fitness, up near Summit, New Jersey area, Berkeley Heights, came to me and he said, "Charlie, I need you to teach me everything that you know of what you would do for someone that had an ACL recovery process." Where he said, we're getting girls, largely girls, which is obviously not surprising when we talk about the high school age, almost serious issues in terms of the occurrence and recurrence of ACL tears in that population. I've always found that training that age group was some of the biggest successes and most exciting stories that I could tell, largely because it got girls into the weight room and otherwise where they never would have, and where serious lower body injuries, largely ACL tears, got them into a facility that I had during my time in between the NBA and MARSOC, where it was a weight room. And we were running physical therapy there, and Vince knew about that. He spent some time there, and he's like, "I need you to teach me everything," because he wasn't just getting girls that had timed out their physical therapy, which we're going to talk about, but the doctors were actually referring to this trainer, strength and conditioning coach, Jim. He was not referring to physical therapy after a certain point. Now, obviously, first several weeks the girls were going, but what Vince was finding is that these girls were getting to him because they were getting discharged from physical therapy, and they were getting discharged not because they were ready to do anything. They were getting discharged sometimes less than 1 month out into their ACL recovery. And at that point, a trainer isn't even appropriate for most things. There are some things, certainly, that they are. And to work together with a physical therapist. And he was also reporting that their insurance would time out. So they'd be going 2 months. And we know now, a more contemporary message, there's a lot of folks that are saying 2 years to come back from an ACL. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the case for everybody, but at least 8 months, 9 months is a realistic return to play. But clearly, the strength and conditioning professional is probably the more appropriate expert for the person to be seeing maybe after month 3. Again, all of this depends, and we're going to talk a lot about this on ACL in Action on the streaming platform, T equals R plus. But ultimately, what we did was gave Vince basically, this is what I would do outside of. This is where we'd look at some manual therapy for some anterior knee pain. We left that part out, but Vince was able to refer out because, in the area that he's in, the parents of these kids, they knew these girls weren't ready. I mean, it wasn't even an option. And it became a gap. It was a gap in the market. It was a problem where, for whatever reason, good, bad, indifferent, these girls were getting to him. They were coming with some significant credibility as referred by their surgeon, and Vince needed the answers, and he then developed an incredible reputation in his community, not only for the great things he was doing with all other athletes and adult population, but particularly for this niche. So of course there's a message of work together, and in anything that I ever do, I really feel like I'm going to take the time to have all those underlying, especially social messages, working together. So on ACL in Action, we will show nothing that a physical therapist should be doing. None of this is demonstrated. They might be talked about, but they will not be demonstrated, so nobody gets any froggy ideas of mobilizing a patella or arranging a knee that still has stitches in it and things like that. But anything that if you are a physical therapist and you wanted a trainer to work together. Now, the cool part, man, if you're a physical therapist or a chiropractor, you can own the profit margin. You can own a gym and pay great trainers a good salary and profit off of them. We all know that can't happen the other way. So if that's something that you think might be interesting to you, this is exactly what I would be doing, or if I had trainers working for me, this is the plan that they would be running, and it's really set up in such a way that if you do have some of the longer time frames, which I used to have several years ago, where you know you're going to have 6-7 months, whether it's insurance or people are paying out of pocket, we can string together different phases of different times. If you want to go on a fast track, or there's some kind of surgical procedure that allows that, then you can run the same plan with some shorter time frames. But I think some of the things that people probably haven't seen before, I don't know where it is, if it's out there, of a plan like this that's all mapped out, that shows you exactly what to do, exactly how to coach. Everything's demonstrated by an incredibly competent athlete named Tim Valley. And there's also some things of a big part of my message of how do you train despite not having the warranty to have a lot of loading through that surgical side. And we're going to show all sorts of stuff, whether it's floor press, whether it's being on the rower with a stool. There's a lot of things that probably people didn't think of. And if you're not comfortable doing them, I'm not suggesting you need to do them, but I'm going to show you some things that I know I would be comfortable with executing myself, or trusting someone that had a lot of information. So there's going to be some voyeurism. I'm sure there's going to be things on here that, for every ACL kid that comes through your gym, that maybe you're not going to want to do. But when you see it, I'm not giving you the authority to do it. I'm showing you what I would do, and then you take it from there. Because I don't think there's anything on there that a very competent strength and conditioning professional, personal trainer, is not legal to be doing. Now, you might not be good at it. Well, now you've got the information, you've got the videos, you can go back and forth, you can look at chapters, you can eliminate chapters, you could do the ones that you think are the most sensible. Because the most important thing I think that we can think of is that this is just good training. I know Mike Boyle wrote an article a long time ago. Is ACL rehab just good training? Or is ACL prevention just good training? We're going to get into some things for the person that does have some significant limitations. Okay, but we're not getting into the manual therapy. We're not treating pain. There's no diagnosis. The surgery's already been done. We're certainly not going to show anything that doesn't fit into the scope of all different providers. Because, remember, I'm sure some of those folks that Vince Gabriel was seeing was because the therapist probably didn't know what to do anymore, or the facility didn't support the type of activities that are appropriate for a young athlete to be developing. And that is functional, that is billable. It's ridiculous to think that to get somebody back to their previous level of function is something that insurance shouldn't be paying for. That's absurd. So Vince was in a good situation there, and it's been replicated. It's been replicated in a lot of other places, and it's exciting that now we're replicating it in video form, and there'll be a discount available to everyone that along with those that are going to attend the Zoom session at the Perform Better seminar series. So some cool things coming out Thursday. We've got the video, we've got the seminar, and anybody seen a leprechaun? Say yeah.